What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today is still technically Friday, November 29th. It's just later in the day, as you can tell by the darkness in my room here. I'm recording this video in advance, so I don't have to record it tomorrow morning, which would be when you're watching it. But this is an overview of my Cyber Weekend opening and the rank ups I did, the characters I pulled, etc., etc. So I spent about 500 or so dollars on this event, I believe. Most of that in thanks to a very generous donation by Scotty T, one of my members. So thank you very much, Scotty, for that. I did plan on spending a little bit on this event, but you elevated that ceiling quite a bit, my friend. So I appreciate that. I ended up getting all the Odins and then one Black Panther and a couple of the Tony Stark's briefcase. So the top roster looks a bit different now, if you can't already notice some glaring changes. The profile as well is also a little different. So let's just break it down by the rank 3s. So now I have 24 rank 3 7 stars with the ability to take almost 3 more up. So I could have 27 right now, but I am saving some of those gems for things in the future. Although I will have another rank 3 relatively soon, within the next couple of weeks or so. I think in the next maybe 2 weeks I'll have another rank 3, and I'm not sure who that's going to be yet. But let's just go class by class here for the new characters. I'll start with Mystic because that's the class that has expanded the most. I used to just have 2 Mystics up at rank 3, Werewolf and Juggernaut, and now I have 5. We'll start with the character I wanted the most up at rank 3. This is Kushala. I know she's unawakened, but even though she's unduped, it doesn't matter to me. I was still going to take her to rank 3 regardless. I love Kushala. I'm a big fan of the kit. I always have been, and the rank 3 was just a no-brainer for me, so I'm very happy to have her. Another no-brainer for me was Enchantress. I pulled her from a recent Titan Crystal. It may have been like a month ago at this point, but that's still pretty recent for Titan Crystals for me. And yeah, just another no-brainer. Great defender for Battlegrounds, even though that's not my main focus. She's an exceptional long-form attacker, which is relevant to me, and I like that. So Enchantress, yeah, such an easy pick for rank 3. And then America Chavez feels like an overdue rank up. Just so powerful. One of the most powerful Mystic 7 stars in the entire game. Just Mystics in general. She is ridiculously powerful. And she's a decent SIG as well, so it just made sense. I like Chavez. I have her at rank 3 on my free to play account. She was actually one of my first rank 3s, so it just makes sense that I take her up now. So those are 3 of my rank 3s. Half of the champions I took up in this Cyber Weekend were Mystic, and that was by design. I really needed to expand my Mystic and Tech roster, and I definitely expanded my Tech by a bit. Got 2 new rank 3s of 2 characters that weren't even awakened before starting this. So let's start with the Stark Enhanced Spider-Man. I picked this guy from the CCP challenges earlier this year, and I did not awaken him. And I sort of regretted that, but sort of didn't, because I really like Masakure as well, and I'm a big fan of him. So I didn't intentionally, or not intentionally, I don't inherently regret the decision to pick both of them, and especially now, I do not regret it at all, because now I have Starkey awakened. Very lucky to have pulled the Tech Awakening Gem from the only 7-star Awakening Gem crystal that I opened. It ended up being Tech. So, very, very fortunate that that was the case, and it was a no-brainer for me. I had a 2 to 3 Tech Gem. No, actually, I didn't have a 2 to 3 Tech Gem. I had a generic gem from the web store, from the milestone tracker, and I used that on Stark Spidey, and then I gave him the Tech Gem and also 59 Sig Stones to get him up to Sig 60. Stark Spidey is an absolute menace at 7-star rank 3. So good for basically any type of content, short, medium, and long form. He has it all. He's got the utility from the Sig, and the stat focus on top of it. You either go block proficiency or critical damage, whatever floats your boat. Stark Spidey is just a menace, so I'm so happy to have him up at rank 3. This guy, you all know how much I love Shocker. The story of Shocker and I goes back over a year at this point. Shocker's been in the game for over a year, so I pulled him from the Gifted Guardians crystals when he first came out as a 7-star, and I did not awaken him. And I was so sad because I really, really value the dupe. Even for non-short form content, like longer form content, I value the dupe pretty highly. So I was hesitant to take him up to rank 3. But with the units I had from buying some of the Odins, I was able to pick up a 2023 Champion Selector as well as a 2 to 3 generic gem, which I'm holding that gem. I haven't used the other generic I have. I have one left. But this Champion Selector was 2023, and I had the option of Awakening, Shocker, Kushala, and Onslaught, and I value the Shocker dupe a lot more than the dupes on those other two champions. So I went with Shocker. I gave him 70 Sig Stones, and I cannot wait to use him going forward. Shocker, one of my favorite characters in the game, and having him at a very high Sig level, and probably going to get him to Sig 100 and then leave him there. I don't have the stones for it yet, but I will eventually. Yeah, I love Shocker to bits, and I'm so happy to have both Shocker and Starkey up at rank 3 now. And then the last rank 3 that I did today was completely by surprise. I had no idea I would end up pulling this guy out of a 7-star Glorious Games Nexus Crystal. Professor X. Again, kind of like Shocker. Fans of the channel know how much I love Professor X, how I've been on Team Professor X since he came out, and he was the only gifted guardian that I missed. He was the only 7-star gifted guardian in the entire pool that I did not get, and I was very sad because I love Professor X, one of my favorite champions in the entire game. So to get him now, and to also have picked a mutant 2 to 3 gem from one of the Nexus 2 to 3 gems in the Odin, it just, the stars aligned. I didn't know I was going to get Professor X because when I opened that 2 to 3 gem, this was before opening the Nexus Crystal, so I had absolutely no idea that Professor X would end up on my roster. And I'm so grateful that he did because, like I said, Professor X is one of my favorite champions in the entire game. My second favorite mutant right under Onslaught, but honestly, it's probably neck and neck if we're being for real, if we're being honest with ourselves. If I'm being honest with myself, should I say. I love him, and I cannot wait to use him going forward. I really do value Professor X very highly, even in 2024. I will probably make a champion revisit video for Professor X because it's been a while since I've talked about him in length, and there's probably a new crowd of players who maybe haven't seen some of my original videos on Professor X that would gain some benefit from seeing some new content on him. So, yeah, absolutely love Professor X to bits. So, other polls that happened throughout today. Let's take a gander here at the 7-star roster in general. I was able to awaken my Count Faria from a Titan Crystal. Very happy about this. Definitely considering taking Count Nefaria up to rank 3. I think he's probably my front runner. It's between Count Nefaria and Prowler for the rank 3 with the materials. I'm saving the 2 to 3 Science Gem for Deathless She-Hulk because I know she's Science, she's in the game already. So I'm saving that for her to have it just in the bank, ready to go, no problem. You know, whenever she comes out officially, I can use the gem on her, and, you know, it's no big deal. So that's what I'm saving for Deathless She-Hulk, and then I have a generic as well that I'm saving for a rainy day. But the mats, I'm either taking up Count Nefaria, or I am considering taking up Prowler as well, since I have the Tech Catalyst. It's really just between Science and Tech champions for who goes up next, and I would not mind taking up Prowler because Prowler is great. I have Prowler at Sig 40, and I like him quite a bit. He is extremely useful, one of the most well-designed champions in the entire game, in my opinion. And yeah, he just has that utility, has that damage. Love Prowler. I can say the same thing for Nefaria. I mean, Nefaria, again, one of the most well-designed champions released this year. Just solid overall. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Who would you rank 3 between Count Nefaria and Prowler? I'm curious to see what you guys think. But outside of that, really not a lot of new pulls. I think the only new pulls I got were right down here. I got Nova from a Titan Nexus. Not the best pull, but I do like Nova, and if I were able to awaken him, I'd be pretty happy with that. I got Omega Red from a 7-star Glorious Games Nexus. Now, Omega Red is a monster, but he's unawakened, and I don't typically run recoil, so not super duper useful for me right now, but I can't deny the power of a 7-star Omega Red, and if I can awaken him in the future at some point, he is definitely someone I consider taking up. And then finally, I was able to snag a 7-star version of Arcade. This was from the free crystal that everybody got using the promo code The Hunter on the web store. Paragon and above players get a free 7-star Glorious Games crystal, and I got Arcade. I like Arcade. I enjoy using him quite a bit, so this was definitely a welcome pull. It's also nice to know that Arcade is getting a buff, so that makes me even happier to have pulled Arcade, knowing that he will be getting a tune-up sometime, I believe early next year. I think it's either January or maybe it's December of this year. I'm not sure when that tune-up is going through. But yeah, him and Northstar are getting a little bit of a buff, so it makes me happy. And then yeah, like I mentioned, I have a couple of gems saved. We have a 1 to 2 generic gem just sitting here for a rainy day. I have two 1 to 2 Glorious Games gems. I'm definitely saving one of these again for Deathless She-Hulk just to have. So I really only have one of these, and I'm thinking about using it on Luke Cage. And then I have a generic 2 to 3 and a science 2 to 3. Again, the science is for She-Hulk. So the generic could go to anybody. I'm just going to hold on to that for now. I don't need to use that gem right now. There is nobody that I'm dying to get up to rank 3. So I'm just going to hold on. I think it's smart to wait and see what happens in the next, month or so or 2 months to see how the game progresses and see what happens in terms of, getting characters. Maybe if I really like Isophine, I'll take her up. Or if I get lucky and pull, I don't know, Dazzler and awaken her. Well, Dazzler's guaranteed, but if I can awaken Dazzler, I'd probably take her up with that gem right away because Dazzler is very good. Dazzler's going to be a good character. Just from the deep dive alone, she looked pretty incredible. And then I have this 6-star 3 to 4 Saga gem that I don't really know who I'm going to use it on. Probably end up going to a fun character, maybe someone like a Viv Vision or maybe Immortal Hulk. I don't really know. Have no real use for this 3 to 4 Saga gem, so yeah, maybe I'll give it to someone like Cable. Just kind of a fun character, not a huge investment, just somebody to mess around with a little bit and have some fun with. Claire's probably, Claire's probably the champion I should have taken up already because it's Black Widow Clairvoyant. She's super useful, but yeah, I'll save that for a rainy day. But yeah, that is going to do it for this video. I think I'll end off with a Winter Soldier fight with my Stark Spidey, just showing him off, seeing how ridiculous the damage is. I should have a team built in here already, yeah. So I'll show off a Winter Soldier fight with Stark Spidey here just to end off the video. But I hope you all had a wonderful Cyber Weekend opening. I'd love to know what you all got from the crystals or the rank ups that you did. Very curious to see the spread of rank ups and crystal openings and whatnot. And if you went all in, awesome, good for you. Hopefully that was worth it for you. I did not go all in. I went in pretty hard, but I didn't go all in. But regardless, I did spend quite a bit. But it's all an investment at the end of the day. You put in to get back out with returns. That's the name of the game. Alright, and this special 2 should finish if we get some crits. Yep. And there you go. That's a rank 3 7-star Stark Spidey, taking out Winter Soldier in 46 seconds. A smaller health pool would have been dead, probably 10-15 seconds sooner. But yeah, that is going to do it for this video. I will end off on Shocker because he's my boy. Again, thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by leaving a like, hitting the subscribe button. That really helps me out and helps the channel out. And also, if you want to hit the bell for notifications to let you know whenever I'm live or whenever I upload a video, do yourself a favor and hit that button if that's something you are interested in. Alright, thank you all very much, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.